guys, Coach Daz at your service. Today we're going to talk about doubles, specifically how to attack. So here we have two priorities. First, the position, and second, the rotation. I was asked before which is harder to play, singles or doubles. For me, it's doubles, especially if you talk about competitive badminton. Why? Because although you're doing everything in singles and it's kind of tiring, you're doing everything and that means sarili mong diskarte. It's all you. There will be no conflicts and it's just hard if you're not in good condition and you're lacking some skills. But unlike in doubles, even if you have the best skills or you have someone to help you in the court, but if you're not really one here, it's gonna be so hard. So it's really important that these two players should work in harmony. First you want to know is the position. We have two. Remember, we are in the attack mode, okay? Our first position is front and back. We have a front player and a back player. This is the most common position, and when we see a doubles team who are standing like this, we know already that they are offensive. And the things that we want to consider here are, first, responsibilities. What are their responsibilities? The front player must guard the net with tap, spin, block, and the back player takes the back with smash, drop shots, and drive. We're not talking about clear or lift unless it's needed, okay? Because we want to stay in this position as much as we could. What about the middle? Who's getting it? Now this one is tricky. So the next thing we want to consider is their distance. And for the middle, both of them can actually get it. The back player can hit with a drive or drop, and the net player can intercept with these shots as well. So that means since both of them can get it, they must be close to each other, so they're closing the gap in the middle. The front player should not stand too close to the net, and the back player should not stand too far at the back. Stance. Next thing to consider is your stance. I can see many players when they're not hitting, they're just watching and standing. For me, this is a bad habit. If you are the front player and your partner is in action at the back, you want to put your racket up and get ready with your legs. Be ready and wait for that opportunity to follow up or intercept the return. Same thing goes if you're a back player, okay? Now when you get to advanced level, you don't always stay in the middle. This time you need to learn how to anticipate. To anticipate means to read and predict the game wisely. For example, the shuttle goes to the side corner. You want to move to the side also so that it's easier and faster for you to follow up your partner's attack. Since most of the time, the defense goes straight. Where to attack? If you are the back player, you must always consider where your partner is. Smash or attack around his shoulders so that it will be easier for him to follow up. For example, if your partner is at the side, focus on smashing straight. When he's at the middle, you can also smash straight close to his shoulders or make a cross. So during an offensive position, we can say that the net player serves as a leader because according to his position and movement, the back player reacts to it. Later on in the rotation, we will discuss more of this. Now, who can use this position? Everyone, from beginners to elite. And if you have an unbalanced team, like one player is stronger than the other, you want to put the stronger player at the back most of the time, if not all the time, so you could maximize his skills. Next attack position is the two net players. This, in my opinion, doesn't apply so much with the beginners. This is more for the advanced because as you get better, expect that your opponent's level is also the same. That means they are already capable of doing more variations of defense. They can do straight, cross, low, flat, high, etc. So when do we do this? This is mainly for the back players, okay? You have to be aware of your partner's position. Where is he attacking? When he is at the side, especially at his backhand side, where he needs to rotate or bend his body, make sure you're close to him so that when your opponent makes a cross defense, especially the fast one, you are ready to follow up to that side. And then both of you are able to guard the net. When the back player is ready, it also gives the front player confidence that he can focus only on one side. Now we go to the rotation. Here we have two as well. First is the straight rotation. This is very common and again, in my opinion, the easier rotation. This is when the back player hits and follows up to the net. When does this happen? When the opponent gives a short lift or clear and the back player can attack it with a smash or drop or even drive, and it would be better for him to follow up to the net. Now the net player has to be sensitive about the length of the opponent's return and the situation because he's the one who will initiate or start the rotation. He needs to move slowly a bit to the side and to the back, giving space to his partner. When this rotation happens, there will be two end positions. First, front and back, where the net player becomes the back player and vice versa. And second, two net players, depending on how the opponent defended, that they both need to cover the net. Now the big question is, what about if the net player doesn't move? The answer is, there will be no rotation. They will stay as is. That is why the net player serves as the leader in an attack situation. He must learn to see what's happening and must be sensitive of his reactions because it's his call that will be followed. Later on, we will see more about the net's leadership. And for kids or even adults who can't make a sound judgment yet about this situation, you can always talk to your partner at the back and tell him to give you a cue if the shuttle is short and you need to move so he can follow up. The second one is the cross rotation. Again, in my opinion, as compared to the other, this is harder, simply because it's harder to move backwards than forward, especially in doubles when the tempo is faster. It's also more seen in advanced or elite players considering they are able to do more with their defense. And this is when the net player moves to the back to attack. When does this happen? When your opponent makes a short high defense at the opposite side of your partner who is at the back. For example, your partner makes a straight smash and your opponent makes a cross high defense. If it's short and you can reach it, go for it. Another is when your partner makes a cross smash and your opponent makes a straight high defense. If it's short and you can reach it, go for it. And this is easier to execute in the second situation where the net player is at the middle and the back player makes a cross attack. So if you're playing mixed and the boy is in front, this is a good combo to initiate a cross rotation. The end position will be front and back, where the net player becomes the back player and vice versa. And again, if the net player doesn't move, even if there was a chance to do so, there will be no rotation, and the back player must keep covering the back. That is why, if you're not used to this kind of rotation, keep talking to each other, enhance your game awareness, and make some exercises with this focus during practice. In this video, I used two of my young players who are like 30 and 40 years old. And as their coach, it's very important for me that they know tactics and that we practice awareness and decision making on court. All these things I shared with you during our practice, I divided into small exercises so that we can focus and master a few things at a time.